Can't He Hurt Me by David Goggins is not a conventional self-help book. It is a raw, unfiltered exploration of mental toughness, accountability, and the uncomfortable truth about human potential. This video dives deeper into the core lessons of the book, breaking down not just Goggins' story, but the mindset and psychological framework behind his transformation. The narrative begins with Goggins' childhood marked by abuse, fear, instability, and constant self-doubt. He grew up in an environment where survival came before ambition, and confidence was almost non-existent. As a young adult, he struggled academically, battled obesity, and felt directionless. This phase is essential to understanding the book. As main thesis, most people aren't limited by talent, they are limited by the stories they tell themselves about who they are. A pivotal moment arrives when Goggins confronts himself with brutal honesty. Instead of blaming circumstances, he chooses radical ownership of his life. This becomes the foundation of his philosophy. Change starts when excuses end. One of the most powerful lines from the book captures this mindset. You are in danger of living a life so comfortable and soft that you will die without ever realizing your true potential. From that point forward, Goggins begins reshaping his identity through discipline and suffering. He commits to extreme physical training, pushing his body and mind far beyond what he believed possible. The video explores how this wasn't about becoming a Navy SEAL or endurance athlete. It was about proving to himself that limits are negotiable, a central concept explained in this video is the 40% rule. Goggins argues that when the mind tells you you're done, you're only at a fraction of your true capacity. What stops people isn't physical exhaustion, it's mental resistance. As he puts it, when you think you're done, you're only at 40% of what your body's capable of. Another cornerstone of the book is the accountability mirror. Goggins forces himself to face uncomfortable truths by writing down weaknesses, fears, and goals, confronting them daily. This method removes denial and builds self-awareness, turning honesty into a weapon for growth. The video also explores his philosophy of embracing suffering. Goggins believes discomfort is not an obstacle, it's the path. Whether it's pushing through brutal workouts, failing repeatedly in SEAL training, or competing in ultramarathons with injuries, he reframes pain as a training ground for resilience. Suffering is the true test of life. Through repeated exposure to difficulty, he develops what he sees. All's callousing the mind. Just like hands toughen through friction, the mind becomes stronger through consistent challenge. Over time, discipline replaces motivation and action becomes automatic rather than emotional. The video emphasizes a critical distinction. Motivation is temporary, but discipline is permanent. Goggins warns against waiting to feel ready. Progress happens when action continues regardless of mood. Another key lesson is his approach to failure. He actively seeks situations where he might fail, because failure exposes weaknesses and forces adaptation, rather than damaging confidence. Failure, when processed correctly, builds it. We also address the psychological depth behind his philosophy. Identity shifts. When you repeatedly do hard things, confidence grows from evidence, not affirmation. Discipline creates freedom by reducing internal conflict. Pain tolerance increases emotional resilience. Importantly, The video clarifies a common misunderstanding. Goggins' life is extreme, but his message is practical. The goal is not to copy his workouts or run ultramarathons. It is to adopt his principles. Take ownership, remove excuses, build daily discipline, and lean into discomfort. One of the most defining messages in the book sums it up. Be more than motivated. Be more than driven. Become literally obsessed to the point where people think you're crazy. By the end of this video, viewers will understand why Can't Hurt Me resonates so deeply. It's not just a memoir, it's a manual for breaking self-imposed limits. It challenges the idea that comfort equals happiness and argues instead that growth lives in struggle, consistency, and relentless self-honesty. This breakdown gives you a practical mental toughness framework. Accept responsibility, confront your weaknesses, build discipline through action, and keep moving forward when your mind tells you to quit. Because the real lesson of Can't Hurt Me isn't he about becoming superhuman, it's about refusing to stay average and discovering what you're capable of when excuses are no longer an option.